It has not yet been a year since the James Webb telescope was launched, and it has already made some amazing discoveries. The telescope has done a great job of showing its potential, making discoveries that have even left the scientists impressed. Because of this, everyone is eager to find out what the telescope will discover next. A lot of people are following up on all the discoveries of the James Webb telescope as they are eager to find out what exactly is in deep space. This is why many people will be outraged when a scientist decides to share his humor with the public by sending a piece of sausage. But what do I mean by a sausage? Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we will look at the James Webb telescope image that was discovered to be a piece of sausage. But before we can go any further, take a moment to leave a like and subscribe to our channel for nothing but the best updates on what's going on in space. And with that, let's get to it. Not so long ago, Twitter fans were very excited when a physicist posted a stunning new photo from the James Webb Space Telescope. Everyone really thought that it was yet another discovery from the magnificent telescope, as the image itself was clear as the one sent by the telescope. However, disappointment fell upon everyone when they learned that the stunning image was, in fact, a slice of tasty chorizo. But who would do such a thing? Well, Klein, a scientist, would do that. Klein, the director of France's Alternative Energies and Atomic Energy Commission, shared the supposed James Webb Space Telescope image that got everyone excited on July 31. The photo seemed so realistic, given that it showed a round reddish-orange object on a black background that appeared to be a view of a star. According to a Google translation, Klein wrote on Twitter, "Photo of Proxima Centauri, the closest star to the Sun, located 4.2 light-years from us. She was taken by the jwst. This level of detail, a new world record, is revealed day after day." It did not take long for Klein's photo to circulate the internet like wildfire, gathering 19,000 likes and more than 3,000 retweets. Because of the fame that it was getting, and at the rate at which it was getting this fame, the scientist had no choice but to clarify that the image was not from the famous James Webb Space Telescope, of which NASA released the first science photos in July. He revealed that the image was just a slice of the Spanish sausage chorizo. Klein said in another tweet, "Well, when it's time for the aperitif, cognitive biases seem to have a field day." He then added, "According to contemporary cosmology, no object belonging to Spanish charcuterie exists anywhere but on Earth." It so happens that Kleins Tweet sparked some anger in some of the James Webb Telescope fans, and this was evident in the angry comments that were hurled at him. This eventually led the scientist to make it clear that it was intended to be in good fun. He wrote, "In view of some comments, I feel compelled to clarify that this tweet showing an alleged snapshot of Proxima Centauri was a form of amusement. Let us learn to be wary of arguments from authority as much as of the spontaneous eloquence of certain images." It is no surprise that Klein's purported James Webb Space Telescope gained so much recognition and fame in such a short time. In July, NASA released the very first science images from the new Space Observatory. The James Webb Telescope is the largest and most powerful space telescope ever built in the history of mankind and space exploration. Ever since the first images, there have been lots of other images that have been released. Now that Klein has decided to mess around with people's heads, let's talk about Proxima Centauri for a while. Proxima Centauri was discovered sometime around April 2021. During this time, scientists discovered one of the largest stellar flares ever recorded in our galaxy. The plasma jets were said to shoot from the Sun's nearest neighbor, the red dwarf star Proxima Centauri. The flare, which was around 100 times more powerful than any experienced in our solar system, would go ahead and change how scientists thought about solar radiation and alien life. So, basically, Proxima Centauri is a red dwarf, which is the smallest, dimmest, and most common type of main sequence star in the galaxy, and it is located about 4.25 light-years from Earth. Its mass is equal to about 1/8 of the Sun's, and it only has 2 exoplanets orbiting it. One of these planets, known as Proxima Centauri b, is said to be similar to Earth, and lies within the star's habitable zone. This is just the distance from our star that could support the development of life. To conduct the study of this star, researchers made use of 9 ground and orbital telescopes, among them being the Hubble Space Telescope, the Atacama Large Millimeter Submillimeter Array, and NASA's Transiting Exoplanet Survey Satellite. All of these were used to closely monitor Proxima Centauri for a total of 40 hours over a number of months in 2019. On May 1, 2019, the team captured the mega flare, which shone for just 7 seconds and was mainly visible in the ultraviolet spectrum. During that time, lead author Meredith McGregor, an astrophysicist at the University of Colorado Boulder, said, "The star went from normal to 14,000 times brighter when seen in ultraviolet wavelengths over the span of a few seconds." We are talking about a stellar flare, but what really is it? Well, stellar flares occur as a result of a star's strong magnetic fields. These fields, created by large amounts of electrically charged gas, can get twisted together, suddenly causing them to snap back into place. This releases an enormous amount of energy in the form of radiation. Think of it as firing an elastic band at someone with your fingers. The flare that originated from Proxima Centauri was more powerful than the Sun. Unlike the flares originating from the Sun, the ones emitted by Proxima Centauri were also different kinds of radiation. More specifically, it produced a huge surge of ultraviolet light and radio waves referred to as millimeter radiation. In the same statement, McGregor said, "In the past, we didn't know that stars could flare in the millimeter range, so this is the first time we have gone looking for millimeter flares." This finding was only made possible by the fact that the team was using such a wide variety of telescopes to monitor the star. Each telescope would focus on a different part of the electromagnetic spectrum. McGregor then added, "It's the first time we've ever had this kind of multi-wavelength coverage of a stellar flare. Usually, you're lucky if you can get 2 instruments." According to these findings, the stellar flares given off by the red dwarfs are much more violent than what was previously assumed. It could potentially reduce the likelihood of alien life developing around them. Given the type and amount of radiation emitted by Proxima Centauri, it could be difficult for life even to exist, let alone survive. This is regarding the orbiting exoplanets, which most likely have no real atmosphere because of the powerful flares. This is according to the researchers. However, this does not mean that alien life can't exist here. McGregor said that if there was life on the planet nearest to Proxima Centauri, it would have to look completely different from that found on Earth. If a human from Earth went there, they would have a bad time. Most of the other red dwarfs probably give off similar or even more powerful flares, potentially decreasing the chances that planets that are orbiting the red dwarfs could potentially support life. They also flare much more frequently than the Sun, which reduces the chances of finding life in that star system even further. McGregor believes that the planets orbiting Proxima Centauri are probably being hit by something like that not once a century, but at least once a day. This is if it is not done several times in a day. The researchers now hope to use the James Webb Space Telescope to learn more about the stellar flares produced across the galaxy. What did you think of Klein's little joke? Feel free to let us know in the comments section below. Also, before you go, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to our channel for nothing but the best updates on what's going on in space. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.